Okay guys, this is Pickups episode 5. Now I know the last one was uploaded in like late August, so sorry for the hiatus, but it's just games have been harder and harder to find, and I'm getting less and less money even though I'm working my ass off almost every day. That's another reason why I can't upload videos every second, because I got work and college and homework and blah blah blah. You don't really care about that. You just want to see what games I bought, and I don't blame you. That's the interesting stuff. So let's get right into it. Pickups episode 5. First pile is games that I've gotten from friends through trades or, some other circumstance. Let's start off with Resident Evil Raccoon City. I got this from my friend Joel. Actually just got it because he was going to pay me $15 for gas for driving up around St. Cloud a bit, but instead he just gave me this, so thanks Joel. Game is pretty mediocre, but I still played through it. So there you go. Next I made a trade with Michael, the friend who usually gives me games, and we'll do some trades, And this trade was for that Game Boy Advance SP I found in the last Pickups episode, I believe it was. And I traded that since I already had another one, and I already have another Game Boy Advance, so just in case that one does fail, I do have a backup. But I traded that for a couple things, and I'll show you that right now. First off, we have Metal Gear on the NES. Been really looking for this one. Even though I technically already have it in the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, it's nice to own a physical copy to put in my gaming collection, so thank you for that. And we also have a Game Gear. Now, as Michael knows, I've been wanting Game Gear for a while, so this is just great to add to my collection. Another handheld to collect for. It's in okay condition, little scratches here and there, but the auto works fine, so that's good. The picture quality is, pretty good for a Game Gear, at least. And I got a few games with it, and I'll show you that too. Before we start out, I'll just show off this game, Magic Knight Re-Earth. I got this one a while back, just because I'm a fan of the anime, and it was only like $5 for a boxed game on eBay, so I thought that was cool. And when I'm doing this, I'm going to have a little counter at the bottom of the screen, and it's going to be GGC for a Game Gear collection, and there are 363 Game Gear games total, both import and domestic. And my goal as a collector is to collect every single one of them. So right now it should be 1 out of 363, and as I go through the rest of these that I got through the trade, and other stuff, I'll let you know. Some of these were actually bought at the thrift store too, but I'll just include them here just because they're all in one little collection. It's just easier to go through them this way. First off, we have Ayrton Senna's GP Monaco 2. Clutch Hitter. There's going to be a lot of sports games, but, Game Gear didn't really have that much to offer, to be honest. And, sports games were a big chunk of the game library in it, and if you're going for a complete collection, you gotta have those too, I guess. We got Collins, Echo the Dolphin, Madden 95, Majors Pro Baseball, James Pond 2 RoboCod, let's see here, Mortal Kombat, NFL Quarterback Club, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble, and that's still not all the Sonic games on the Game Gear. There's still like 5 more, I think. So, and finally Spider-Man. So I'm getting a good start to my Game Gear collection. Still got a long way to go to complete that collection, but the Game Gear is pretty easy to collect for. A lot of its library you can get for super cheap, $3 or less. So I'm hoping to increase that collection, and hopefully I'll have more by the next Pickup episode. This next little pile, I like to call the game store pile. Basically, I bought these new or used at retail chains that aren't like, like pawn shops or anything. This first one is Vikings Battle for Asgard on the PS3. Thought it looked cool, and it was only like $3 at a GameStop, and for a $3 PlayStation 3 game, you can't really go wrong, so. This one's kind of bittersweet. I found this for $7 at a used video rental store. It is complete with manual and everything, but you'll see why it's bittersweet. It's Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations. And love the Ace Attorney games, so had to get this one because I didn't have it. and unfortunately had a sticker on the front, and this is before I knew of the heat trick, and I think even if I used the heat trick to get the sticker off, it still would have ripped, but that happened to it, and you know, it sucks, but at least the game is still there, with the manual and everything, so bittersweet at best. Then we have, at a Best Buy, I got this for $8, Chronicles Samurai Warriors, $8 3DS game. I'm gonna pick it up, and it looks kinda okay. My friend had it, and he sold it off because he said it was really shitty, but I don't know, I have yet to play it, so I guess I'll make my own judgment on that soon. And at Target, for $7.50, weird price I know, was Star Wars The Old Republic. Not really a big MMO fan, but this is Star Wars, it is BioWare. But, and I heard that this game was getting kind of shit reviews, and, you know, it wasn't really that popular. But for $7.50 for an MMO about Star Wars, I couldn't just leave it there, I had to pick it up. So that's it for that. In remembrance of garage sale season that is now past, let's go through the garage sale pile. Right away here, after Star Wars The Old Republic, I got another MMO. Guild Wars Complete Collection. Got this sealed for $5, randomly, I know, at a garage sale. But I played a little bit of this, actually. It's actually pretty fun, but you got, for an MMO, you gotta have more people in. Really, I don't know anyone else who's playing this other than the sequel, which is probably why this is sold, but, I mean, it's still a good game to have. Actually, at that same garage sale, they had a plastic bag. It wasn't like a Ziploc bag, it was like tape shut or something. And had a Game Boy Advance, this one right here, and 3 games in, but the problem is the games had little plastic cases, and I couldn't see the titles of them, or anything of them really. It's just the plastic cases, and they couldn't have had any games in at all for all I knew. It just said $10 on the bag, so I'm like, oh, that's like kind of on the edge. But I you know, obviously I went through and I bought it, so I got the clear purple Game Boy Advance. It works fine. A little bit scratched up, kind of like the Game Gear, but again, works fine. And it kind of lucked out on the games. One was like this crappy puzzle game compilation, and I just pawned that one off because it really didn't interest me at all. But we got Pokemon Fire Red, and I've been playing the crap out of this one. Let me tell you, I already have like 120 Pokemon. And pretty much every free time I get at college, I'm playing this, so that was definitely good. And Fire Emblem, so 2 really fucking awesome games and a Game Boy Advance for $10, so not bad at all. If you watched my JoJo's Fighter video, you saw I got Road Rash 3D. Haven't played it yet, but always good to add PlayStation games to my collection. And it was only 25 cents, so not bad. Another garage sale for 50 cents, Apocalypse, starring Bruce Willis, because I actually saw videos on this game, and I thought it looked really funny. I believe Bruce Willis has just catchphrases that keep going on throughout the game and get kind of annoying, but it's like, let's jam! It's hilarious, and I couldn't resist picking that one up. And finally, for $1, another garage sale, we got Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. Always looking and willing to add Street Fighter games to my collection, and this was one I didn't have, so it's one of the 3D Street Fighter games for the PlayStation. So, looks interesting, and it's in great condition, so happy about that one. Next up is everyone's favorite pawn store, Pawn America. So all these games from Pawn America. Let's start out with Wipeout. Got this one for $2. It's the long box version, obviously. It is complete, and it's in very good condition. Not sure why they didn't mark this one up, but I love Wipeout. I love the PSP Wipeout. I played that shit all the time back in the day. So, definitely wanted to add that. And for some reason, I think this guy just brought in a bunch of his old like PS2 games, and they were just marking them down. They're like really good prices for some of this stuff, and I'll show you in a second. We have Legaia 2 Dual Saga. This one was $3. All these are complete except for one game, which I'll show you. But this is a RPG, so you know I picked it up. Max Payne 2. This one was only $2, I believe, and I just never got the sequel to Max Payne, even though I loved the first game. I don't know why. But this was really cheap for that, so I picked it up. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, the only PS2 Mortal Kombat game I didn't own yet. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and I finally got this one, because before I always seen it for like $8 or $10, and to be quite honest, PS2 Mortal Kombat games aren't really worth that much. But this time it was $3, so even though it's greatest hits, I said F it, and I picked it up. Shining Force EXA. This one was only $5, and I'm pretty sure it's more than a $5 game. I have a couple other Shining Force games, and I do like them a lot, so couldn't resist picking that one up. Xenosaga 2. I know this one is worth a lot, and this one is a $4 game, I believe. This is the one that is incomplete, but it does have both discs, so at least it has that. But I have the first episode of Xenosaga, and I played a lot through that, so can't wait to play through this one. And finally, Space Channel 5 Special Edition. I heard a lot of good things about the Dreamcast version of this game. I hope you're not getting those PS2 games in the camera. Never mind. And this is the special edition, so this one has actually 2 discs, and it was only $1, so darn right I'm going to pick that up. Now for some non-PS2 games. They had this in the case. It was Tekken Advance on the Game Boy Advance, and I'm a big Game Boy Advance in-box collector, and it's Tekken, and it was only $3, so I picked it up right away. Samba de Amigo on the Dreamcast. I heard a lot of things about this one as well, and it's made by Sonic Team, so it's got to be at least a little good. Look, Space Channel 5 advertisement. It was only $5, so I know this game has like Morocco controllers out there somewhere, but obviously they didn't have them. Street Fighter Alpha 2. This one was only $5 as well, and it was the only Street Fighter Alpha game I did not have, so I completed the Street Fighter Alpha trilogy, and it's another Street Fighter game on the PlayStation, so hooray for that. And finally, Dr. Mario on the NES. Just didn't have this one yet, and it was only $5, and I play Dr. Mario a lot, the N64 one, and obviously this is just a graphically, simmered down version of that with less story, but still awesome and fun puzzle game, so glad to pick this one up. And finally, we have a few SNES games here that were at pretty okay prices, so I decided to pick them up. First off, we have Battle Clash. I believe this one actually uses a Super Scope. I haven't actually played it, but the cover is pretty cool, and it was only $1, I believe, so that's why I picked that one up. We have Pilot Wings. I've heard a lot of great things about this one, and it was only $5. Lagoon. I know this is an RPG, and I believe the Happy Video Game Nerd reviewed it. He didn't really like it that much, but it was only $5, and for $5 an RPG on this Super Nintendo, you grab it. Final Fight. This one was just a classic beat 'em up, a lot like Streets of Rage, obviously. $5. I'm not skipping on that one. And Draken, another RPG, although more of a Western RPG. And this one actually kind of sucks ass, but I picked it up anyway. At least the cover is cool. And it was only $5 as well. So there you go. Okay, these next pile of games were all bought at thrift stores, and I believe this is my biggest pile in this pickups episode. And if you've seen my last little pickup special, you'll know what's coming. So, but first of all, we have some other games to get across. We have Duel Master Kaijudo Showdown, boxed Game Boy Advance game. It was $3 at Goodwill, I believe. And I actually did like the Duel Masters game on the Game Boy Advance a lot. They have 2 of them, and I believe they're pretty much the same thing, but this is the other one, and it's boxed. And I like the game, so there you go. As an addendum to Pilot Wings on the SNES, we have Pilot Wings 64. This one is also $3. Unfortunately, it has a little sticker gunk on there. I tried some Goo Gone, but it's still kind of sticky. Just wanted to kind of add to my N64 collection, so there you go. Sonic Schoolhouse on the PC. This was $1, and I don't know. I don't know why I bought it, really. It just had Sonic on it, so I was like, F it. You can look up YouTube videos of it if you really want to laugh, because it's pretty funny, actually. So, next we have Blasto on the PS1. Shiny cover. I like shiny covers. Just shiny. But anyway, it actually looks pretty fun. Looks like a adventure/platforming game. So, it was only $2 at Goodwill, and right next to it was Cubits for the same price. And I actually like Cubits at Cubits. What am I saying? Chobits? I actually liked Cubix as a kid, and so I decided to pick that one up. At the same Goodwill, about a week later, they had a couple Dreamcast games. Most of them I already had, or were just crap titles like NFL 2K that you friggin' see everywhere. But here are 2 good ones that they had, $3 a piece. Street Fighter 3 Double Impact, which is just New Generation and Second Impact put into one disc, and Street Fighter 3. Don't want to pass that one up. And a game that I've actually been looking for a while, and that is Sword of the Berserk Guts' Rage. Hey, Happy Video Game. What am I saying? Happy Video Game Nerd also did a review of this, and I know what Berserk is, you know, the manga, and it just looks really fun in my opinion, and can't wait to play it. So, at the Haberdashery in Big Lake, even though it's not a haberdashery, it's more of just like a kind of antique store, I suppose. But they do have video games, so there I got Super Street Fighter 2 boxed in complete. It was $3, I believe, and boxed the complete Street Fighter game. Had to pick it up. At the same Goodwill, I got the Cubics and Blasto games I found. Battle Arena Toshinden 2 on the PC. I believe this one was a little expensive at like $3, but just I've never seen this game on the PC. Actually, I've never seen this game in the wild at all, but on the PC it just seems weird. I had the first one, so might as well. For 50 cents at a Savers, I got The Curse of Monkey Island. I've heard a lot of good things about the Monkey Island games. Basically point-and-click adventure games, and 50 cents. Hell yeah, I'm picking that on up. And finally, we have Ape Escape 3 I got for $4 at the same Savers. Love the Ape Escape games, played the first two all the time as a kid. I used to rent them just constantly. And I played the PSP one a lot as I was growing up too. And I never played 3, so finally I have it, and it just looks like a ton of fun. So there you go. This next pile was in the special little pickups episode I did a couple days ago, and so you should recognize some of the game titles, but let me tell you, some good deals in here. First off, there's Pokemon Stadium 2 for $4. It did manage to get the Blockbuster sticker off, but there's a metal bar underneath it, and everything just got ravaged, so if you look really closely, you can see it's all kind of taped together. But from a distance, it looks okay. And I mean, the game still works, so it's not that big a deal. It's just, if I do find a better copy for cheap, I'll definitely pick that one up instead. But I have Pokemon Stadium 2 now, so there you go. I already mentioned these in the Pickups special episode, so you can go and watch that. It's the previous video in this channel, so it'll be super easy to find. But I'll just list off these games. You can find the individual prices in that video, by the way. First off, we have Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Gonna do a playthrough on this one for Halloween because, you know, it's just an awesome game to play during Halloween. And got it for super cheap. And I actually have been looking out for this one for a while, so that was really awesome to see. Mega Man X, awesome. Mega Man X2, awesome. Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, awesome. And finally, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Awesome. So those are all my thrift store finds. A lot of good ones there. But recently, thrift stores have been kind of drying up, so you probably won't see as awesome as finds as these. I pretty much cleared out everything for at least a few months. So there you go. Okay, and finally, a pile that is pretty much handpicked by me because they were all bought online. Which means I had to go out of my way to pay for them, you know, shipping and whatnot, and look for them on eBay. First off, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the Super Famicom. It is complete with manual and everything. Really nice condition. And I've become a big fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the last few months, so. And it was super cheap, like $15 for a box Super Famicom game, so I thought I'd pick that one up. Increasing my Sakura Wars collection, we have Sakura Wars 5 Episode 0. I really need a Japanese PS2 or something, because I have so many Japanese PS2 games now. It's not even funny. But this is pretty much a prequel to the Sakura Wars So Long My Love game that we got here, and I love that game. So I had to pick that one up. It was like $8, I think. Castlevania Curse of Darkness, the only other PS2 Castlevania game I needed. And it was $6, so there you go. My Castlevania collection is almost complete. And on that note, we have Castlevania Chronicles on the PS1. Already had this game on PSN, but, and as some people may know, this game is actually pretty rare. It's like a $30, $40 game, but I finally found it for pretty cheap, $10 on eBay. So it is complete with all the artwork and everything. Seller said it was a little water damage, but it's not that big a deal. And the disc is in good condition, so there you go. Yeah. Why am I even talking? And finally, the final Game Boy Advance Castlevania game I needed, Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. Gotta give all those ones a playthrough. Just, I haven't had enough time. There's enough time in the world. But I'm only looking for but I'm only looking for 4 Castlevania games now. Legacy of Darkness on the N64, Legends on the Game Boy, 2 Belmont's Revenge on the Game Boy, and 3 Dracula's Curse on the NES. So, maybe you want to send them my way or something? That's not going to happen. So, I'm still on the lookout for those. May they be in the next pickup video? I don't know. Trying to fill out my Final Fantasy collection as well, and we have Final Fantasy Origins, which is 1 and 2. Which is Final Fantasies 1 and 2, just put on a PlayStation disc with some new additional features like cutscenes and stuff. And never owned the first 2 Final Fantasies, and I didn't want to have to look out for them on the NES because those are pretty hard to find actually. It was only $10, so pick that one up. And also Final Fantasy Chronicles, which contains Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. Again, pretty rare games. In fact, I think 4 is only available on the PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am. I mean, in the US anyway. And it is the greatest hits version, unfortunately. But it was only $10 again, and for complete Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 4, you can't go wrong, even if it is greatest hits. I'm not a real big greatest hits, like, I'm not the kind of guy who sees a like rare as fuck game that's greatest hits and goes, psh, whatever. I mean, it is nice to have just the black label, but the green label doesn't put me off that much. So there you go. More Soccer Wars games, because everyone loves those, right? Oh wait, it's just me. Soccer Wars Online Paris version. There's a Tokyo version with like the first cast of characters that you don't even care about. But basically I just bought these to fill out my Soccer Wars collection as well, because I don't have a Japanese Dreamcast, so I can't play these. This is one of the games that actually required the keyboard and utilized the online function of the Dreamcast, thus the name, Soccer Wars Online. But you know, I just am looking for these games to fill out for my collection, and it was only $6, I believe. And actually shipped with that from the same seller for another $6 was Soccer Wars 4. The only numbered Soccer Wars game I was actually missing, so there you go. And one Saturn game, like the only Saturn game I've actually bought in forever. Soccer Wars, let me read this. Hanagumi Sushin, which basically means like Imperial Troop Male? I don't know. I think it's like, I honestly don't know what this game is, to be honest. But it was only $5, and for Soccer Wars game on Saturn that I don't have, I'm going to pick it up. And finally, the last game that I keep talking about that I pre-ordered finally arrived, and that is Code of Princess on 3DS. Like I said, it's similar to Guardian Heroes in the fact that it's like a multi-plane beat-em-up kind of game. I still have yet to play it, as like I said, homework just too much. But I got for pre-ordering it, I got the special edition which comes with this box. Ooh, a box. But other than that, it does come with a little art book, and which also holds a CD. Kind of weird how they like use paper to put the CD on, but it does work, and it's just awesome that they throw that in just for pre-ordering it. I mean, usually just get like extra DLC map for Call of Duty, but no, it's nice when they throw physical bonuses in like this, and I do approve. So thank you, Atlas, for that. Well, guys, that is it for Pickups Episode 5. Thanks for watching again. I know these may seem boring to some people, but to some people they're actually interesting, like my friends, some of them. But once again, just thanks for watching, and if you subscribed, thanks for subscribing. It really doesn't do anything, but, you know, I guess it makes me feel better about myself as a person. I'm just rambling, aren't I? Next Pickups episode won't be for a while, because 1, running out of money, and 2, garage sale season is over, and 3, just the thrift stores have been complete and utter crap recently. But I will be uploading some other videos, such as reviews and collection videos and stuff like that. And there is a room tour coming soon. Stay tuned. I know I keep saying that, but my computer had problems, and I got a new laptop, so that's fixed up. Lost a lot of my old footage, but everything's back on track now for the most part. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more Pickups episodes coming soon.